So this guy made a video talking about the $50,000 proposal in student debt forgiveness by, I think the idea was by Joe Biden. It's something he's considering doing or he's going to try to do once he gets in office. So let's hear what he has to say and go from there.
Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So today we're going to talk about the proposal to forgive the first $50,000 of student debt. Because that was something came out, I guess Schumer mentioned it. It's an idea from him and Warren, and that Biden may be able to do it with a pen stroke. There's already people pushing back against it. So let's run through it. Let's run through the argument, and let's see if it holds up. The main one that I've seen is, well, I didn't get my debts forgiven. Okay, and that's not an argument.
Yes, it is. If you paid off your debt and then for the same debt somebody else has, somebody, like you said, with just a pen stroke, is going to tell you that now you are forced to then pay off their debt as well. That is absolutely unfair. You could, think about it, $50,000. How hard is it to pay that off? Especially if you're not like a six-figure earner or something, which we all know that just because you go to college doesn't mean you do. So you did all that work, and that's 5, 10, maybe even more years worth of work. And now you get that, and now some more of your tax money is going to go to other people and just forgive that. Yes, that's unfair. That is an argument. That is absolutely an argument. And again, why, and this may come up later, so I might regret bringing it up now, but why are we just doing this with student debt? Why not mortgage debt? Why not car loan debt? Student debt isn't the only debt that's keeping people from, I guess, having more money to spend or something. But yeah, it's definitely an argument.
Especially coming from the people who are so fond of saying life's not fair.
What is the relevance? What is the relevance? When people say life's not fair, they're talking about random occurrences, things that are out of your control. They're not talking about things that are in your control. Your debt is in your control. So how is that even relevant to now? Somebody falling on their face because they misstep, life's not fair. Somebody slapping you in the face is totally different.
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I would point out that a whole bunch of people lost money in the banks before the FDIC existed. I would point out that there were a whole bunch of people left homeless after major issues before FEMA. I would point out that there were a whole lot of people hurt before OSHA existed.
And I don't understand how this is relevant and comparable. So people were homeless before, I guess, some program that helped homeless people. Again, we're talking about forcing people to take care of other people's problems. That's what we're talking about here. Paying off somebody else's debt in this manner affects everybody else. So they have a voice in the say.
Now, the reality is that if we would come together as a community and work together to...
We're not a community. People, please stop doing that. We're not a community. Yes, we're the United States. We're not a community. The fact that everybody has the ability to do whatever they want, their freedom to do what they want, we're not a community. We're a bunch of individuals. That's it. Your community, your family, that's your community. Or your actual neighborhood that chooses to come together, that's your community. We're not a community. I hate when black people say the black community. We're not a community. Because everybody can make their absolute own decisions. We are not a community. Stop it.
Benefit the community, we wouldn't need any of these organizations. We wouldn't need any of these agencies. They wouldn't have to exist.
We don't need them now. You don't need them at all. When I spoke about the retirement benefits thing that they take out of your check, you don't need that. If you have kids, raise them properly, and you just have a core family, chances are you won't need the government to give you money when you retire because you'll have kids, family, etc. that will help you if you need it. You don't need these agencies. Why do y'all think that we need them now? You don't. Take care of yourself. The more y'all keep asking the government for this stuff, and how are you arguing for forgiveness and then saying we wouldn't need this or blah, blah, blah? That's stupid. That's stupid. You're belling your own point here.
Because we would be working together to benefit the entire community. Right? Makes sense.
No, it doesn't. We know we're an extremely diverse nation. Everybody's interest differs from person to person to person, which is why we have these problems in the first place. So allowing someone to be a hindrance to other people, that's not coming together. That is not coming together. It's not. Somebody might disagree with college totally. Somebody might not like one college. Is that they're going to come together and say, yes, I'll pay for that college anyway? Well, according to this, yes, you're going to pay for it anyway.
I don't think that, hey, this problem existed for me, so other people should have to go through it, is a really good argument.
Yes, it is. Let's take something like this might be a bad example because it's off the top of my head, but let's say something like the rite of passage, right? Where you send your youth through certain exercises, activity, etc. And when they come out, they should have learned, one or several life lessons, right? Someone going through what you went through might actually teach them something, might actually build up some immunity to something. So it actually is a good argument in more ways than one. I paid off my debt, now you pay off yours. It'll teach you, maybe it'll teach you that things aren't just free. But in the world that these people like this, the way they think, stuff is free. So maybe that's his point.
Not when the idea is to get rid of problems that exist.
You won't get I know I'm stopping this a lot. You won't get rid of the problem. You won't. Because once you clear out one school debt, you think people are going to just stop taking out loans? No, this is going to be a problem again. Unless you unless you get rid of student loans, it's going to come back. But then the only way to get rid of student loans in these people's eyes is to just give free college. And that is still go against what people are desiring, what people want. People don't want to be forced to pay for other people. That's how we are in America. And we have rights to not have to do that.
The real question you have to ask is education something that benefits the community as a whole? Is education a community asset? I would assume
maybe, but let's see where he's going.
That you like knowing that your docs and nurses know what they're doing. I would assume that you take solace in the fact that the engineers who worked on the products you use know how to make them safely.
Okay, here's the problem. Just because I enjoy or I reap benefits from somebody knowing their stuff doesn't mean that I have to pay for it. Because if we all have to pay for it, well, why don't we get to choose who does it? Right? Let's say one group of people, one demographic of people pay the absolute most and the taxes that go to, paying for these doctors and engineers. Well, how come they can't pick who does it? They just have to pay for it with no say? How come they can't look at somebody and go, that person's a fucking moron? That person doesn't even, they're not even on a level of what it takes to be a doctor or an engineer. I'm not paying for that person. Why don't they have a say? A lot of people that think like this simply just want you to go along with the program. Not have a voice, not do any of that stuff. Not think. Just do. Just go along with it. No, I'm not with that. If I gotta pay for something, I want to voice in it. I want to say in it. But you don't want to do that, do you? It's just pay for it. You're going to use an iPhone, right? We'll pay for someone to go to school and learn how to program an iPhone. Okay, fine. But that dude you got in line is stupid. You got to take him out the line. When you give people this type of control, and I know you're not going to give it to the citizens, you're going to give it to the government. The government even itself has showed you they will put certain things in place that are absolutely stupid.
I would assume that you like the idea of the teachers who teach your children being well versed in subject matter. I would assume
Sending somebody to school for something doesn't mean that they're going to complete it. And if they complete it, it doesn't mean that they're well versed in it. It just means that they got a passing grade. We know that that's how school works, right? So you possibly made people pay for this C average doctor, this C engineer. You just made people pay for that.
that you would like for the people who are going to make that vaccine, what they're doing, and that you will benefit from their education. You gain some tangible benefit, some value from them being educated in that field.
Again, me benefiting something does not mean I have to pay for it before it is even thought about. What kind of message is this? What kind of idea is this? So somebody wants to invent flying cars. Well, I'm going to benefit from flying cars, so might as well is donate to that. Why not? Why not pay a tax for that? It's going to better us, right? The Green New Deal was just make everybody pay for that. It can't just be they went and paid for their education. No, they get to reap the benefits of their education, like that high wage. That doctor, that six-figure doctor, that engineer, I don't know how much they make, but at least close to it. They're reaping the benefits of that. So just because I reap the benefits of it, I have to pay for it. When their salary is going to be a lot higher than most people in America.
It makes sense.
It doesn't.
Education is a community asset. The more educated people you have, the stronger the community. It's not like these people are getting a hand.
What if they get an offer overseas? Can they leave? Or are they stuck here? You see how this takes away a little bit of your freedom? If you get a job offer overseas, which does happen, right? Especially for an engineer. You want to tell them they can't go because they got the education here paid for? Well, what if are you going to allow them to pay it back and just leave? Because then what? That defeats the purpose.
Out because they're lazy. They did the work. The problem with this isn't that it's forgiving the first 50,000 and that other people didn't have that happen for them. The problem is this doesn't go far enough. It's a starting point. That's it. And the argument against universal education boils down to, well, if you do that and it's free, then anybody can get it, which is literally the point. Because education is a community asset.
That's not good just because any equal opportunity. Why would you give equal opportunity to somebody who's ridiculous, who has a record IQ, and somebody who's literally a moron? Why would you give them two opportunity to the same educational resource? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And no, I'm not trying to make a case that doesn't happen now. But now you're going to double down and make people pay for it and give these people ability to waste it. Look at FAFSA. When FAFSA, for those of you who don't know, you should, but FAFSA is the thing you get really to just go to community college, honestly, because it's only like a little under $5,000. Now, when I was in high school, I don't know how they do it now. But when I was in high school, what they do is they just walk everybody through the FAFSA fill out form online thing, right? And I got it. I was one of those many that did it. Not because I thought it was right, but it was they just walk you through it as you're in high school. So what did I do? I didn't want to go to school because of education. I just wanted an extended high school basketball career. That's what I wanted. So that's what your tax dollars went to paying for. You think that's going to change just because I don't know. It's free to everybody. Like, I don't understand where y'all think this is going to go. It doesn't mean that it's by default going to enhance everybody's education. When you cheapen education, that's exactly what you do. You waste so much of it on people who literally should not get it.
That's that. And then that's followed up with, but then they're less valuable. And that's where you get to the real meat of it. Congratulations. You're admitting that it's a class issue. Followed up with, but then they're less valuable. And that's where you get to the real meat of it. Congratulations. You're admitting that it's a class issue. You're saying flat out that you want to use a college education as a barrier for entry into higher paying jobs.
What? A barrier for entry for higher paying jobs. That's what it is by default. That's not what we want to use it for. That's what it is by default. I'm sorry, but people charge for their times. So why aren't the teachers just doing it for free or a great discount? People charge for that stuff. Again, that's what you're doing. You're telling me to pay this guy to teach that guy. I don't want to. Why? I don't understand why y'all won't allow that. Why you literally advocate for the forcing of me having to pay for us. I don't get it. I don't get that. Where's my right to decline this? Yes, we do have class issues in America. So you're going to eliminate, in what world are you going to eliminate all issues? Explain this to me. This is just a guilt thing, in my opinion. Oh, you don't want poor people to make it. That's what I feel like he's trying to say here. That because you're against this, you're just by default against poor people.
Parents can't afford to send them, or who can't get the loans, well, they can just stay in those low paying jobs. You don't want to have to.
No. Like I've said in several videos on similar topics, you don't have a right to just instantly go from low to the top. You don't have that right. If your parents want to better their bloodline, their legacy, they should better their situation first before they have you. Or if they are unfortunate enough to be responsible enough to have you after, they should better the situation anyway. Make sure you're on your grind so that maybe you can start out community college. They help you. They work their ass off to help you pay for it. You still work your ass off to help pay for it. And then if you succeed, because you put the energy to it, the effort into it, now you actually value it and you actually picked one you could pass, you could get. Now you do that with your next generation and so on and so forth. People can go from the bottom to the top in the system we have now, in which we aren't forced to pay for with kinda, because again, we have FAFSA. But it's not instantaneous enough for you. It's still very possible today. Very possible.
Compete against them. You don't have to compete based on merit. You want a handout. You want some way to prevent them from possibly raising above their station.
Dude, I really don't care. This is why you shouldn't use arguments like this, because it doesn't do anything, dude. Like, this only works if you're actually an elitist type person. There are plenty of working class people who are against this. So arguments like this don't work. They don't work. I'm a 9-to-5er. I have relatives who are 9-to-5ers, whose parents are 9-to-5ers. That doesn't mean that I want to see them fail or not succeed because I don't want to be forced to pay for their stuff. It just simply means I think they should pay for, their parents should help them pay for it, they should pay for it themselves. That's it.
Getting out of the situation they were born into. When that argument is made that well, then everybody will have one. It'll be worthless. It's an admission that the goal of credentialing is to keep others down.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I think what he just said, if I can summarize it the best way possible, is what people are saying as far as the free education is because everybody will have, I guess, a degree or something, then the degree will be worthless, which I have heard people say that. It's not, again, it's not trying to use the payment system or the pay for it yourself system as a way to make sure very few people get it. That's no. It's, again, people's time costs. And the system you want requires people by freaking force to pay that cost for someone else. I don't know what other way to word this. Maybe we need a live one-on-one or something, but I don't know any other way to word this.
To keep the poor in their place.
There have been plenty of poor people to benefit from college without student loan forgiveness. I don't understand this. Why is that an argument? Do poor people not succeed now? Dude.
Perhaps we should change. And we should start looking at things from a community standpoint.
We're not
we
a
should
community.
Stop kicking down, and I don't know, maybe promote the general welfare.
No.
Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.
I'm going to do something I haven't done in a while and go to the comment section. Give me a second. All right, so we're down here in the comment section. It says, don't agree with him on everything, I imagine, but love how he looks at issues respectfully. Okay. So big banks can get their debts forgiven, but students can't. Listen, I understand this comes up a lot. I'm not for forgiveness for anybody. Like that's your fault. So even these when I was in high school and I heard about that $700 billion bailout that Bush did, I was upset. Like, how do you, like, there's no way now you can really look at people who get food stamps and turn your nose up when you just give $700 billion to people who are already rich. Yeah, I'm against that as just as much. Your assumption that people are becoming doctors, engineers, and scientists is wrong. Well, that's included. There are people who will become other stuff that people deem not debt worthy to the degree that they go into debt for. So, like something like, I think like a social worker. I think you can go into like hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt for a social worker, I think, and only get paid like $40,000. And it's like, dude, go be a welder if you want to make $40,000. Like it's really cheap skills you can get in less than 6 months to go make $40,000. The problem is that higher education is overpriced. This doesn't solve that. True. One of the problems that people always point out is that when you guarantee a payment for something, no matter what, there's no incentives to keep the cost down. Like, because like if you have, for instance, let's say, you got these countries where school is free. Where's the need? They only need to keep it down to as much as the government can tax people, right? So if schools in general collectively can get, let's say, $1 trillion, right? Which means profitably for each school, let's say they profit $1 billion with the amount of schools they have, right? They only need to make it that cheap. So if that still allows them to charge $70,000 a semester per student, then that's all they have to do. Whereas if everybody had to pay, either out of pocket or they had unsecured loans, then now you move it to Shit. Let's see. You move it to now they have to actually make it cheaper because people are either paying out of pocket or they're actually taking their own risk to paying for the school. It's a start, and it's better than giving trillions to billionaires, which is what the Fed does. I mean, well, who do you think you're giving money to when you pay off the student loans? Those people are absolutely still rich. Like, do y'all not know this? Do y'all really think they're just giving money to students? No, they're paying off people who are already rich. That's, again, they owe these people trillions of dollars. They're already rich. I don't see forgiving all debts as solving the root of the issue. The tuition for higher education needs to be changed. And another thing that I missed on is that there are things in this plan, right? It isn't just forgive the first 50,000. There's a earnings bracket, something like that, where they might only give like 35,000 or something like that, or it's bracketed. Like, you have to look it up and read it. It isn't just you get $50,000, and because again, government, it doesn't really even make total sense. It's just we're going to have a specified dollar amount to where once you get to that dollar amount, now you technically have just undone your last few $1,000s or tens of $1,000s of earnings because of how we're going to tax you, right? It's stupid. Two types of people in this world. One, I have to suffer, so should you. Two, I have to suffer, and I don't want others to deal with that too. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. A society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in. Okay. Education is a community asset. That should really be the end of the argument. No, it shouldn't. Because when you do that, you completely dismiss all the other extra questions. And I hate when people act like something is this simple. I really hate that. Whereas, if it's something that's nice, well, what's the issue? There's more to it than that. It's a shame that we have to legislate empathy. What we shouldn't. And that's a problem that we run into here. We shouldn't. We shouldn't be legislating empathy. Because when people are forced to be, empathetic, anytime you have a system, right, that system can be taken advantage of, right? Can be abused, correct? So let's take food stamps because it's the easy thing to look at. The empathy there is, hey, when you have people starving, especially children, you feed them. Legislating empathy. But now what do people do? What have people been doing for decades now? Oh, we had a kid, so give us food. You just legislated empathy, so now they're just taking advantage of it. Now they're just sitting on it. Now it's an entitlement now. Because you legislated empathy. That's the problem with legislating empathy. I know, evil, right? Really evil. Let people starve because they made their decisions. Oh, how horrible, right? Problem happened when the feds backed the student loans. Cost price of education to go up tremendously. Now they should fix it. Yeah, but how? The money we are paying for Trump to go golfing in his lawsuits would go pretty far in forgiving student loans. I like how y'all just really just say shit as if y'all know it's facts. Y'all don't even know if Donald Trump is using state-funded funds. You don't even know that. You don't know if he's using his own salary from being a president to go golfing. You don't know it, but you'll be damned if you even think about maybe that's not the issue. Let's just take a shot at Trump because, hey, it's Trump. Or how about a whole bunch of people that died before vaccine? What? This is not a vaccine video, okay? The whole pay my student debt thing is a massive amount of crap. My wife is a doctor and I'm an engineer. Okay. We both sacrificed and paid our way on our own with absolutely no help from anyone. And I mean nobody. At one point, we were both delivering pizzas. Forgiving 50,000 or 100,000 won't change poor financial decision-making skills. Long story short, if you want to be wealthy, do what wealthy people do. If you want to be poor, behave like poor people. Let's see what they said about, I'm pretty sure they looked at that and heard the I struggle, so you should struggle argument. Let's hear. When I was young, my family was a migrant family going from farm to farm. I did not have the luxury of delivering pizzas, a joke of a job requiring near zero effort. I'm an engineer myself and biomedical. I'm pretty sure from your tone that you are one of those token sufferers that suffers his own demons. If you had suffered alongside your counterpart, these words would not arise out of your mind. How the fuck do you know? How do you know that? How do you know he took in the struggle the same way you did? I'm moving on. How do you know that? So he got 5,000 comments. I'm just going to skip down some and do just a little more. If they get school for free, will the services they provide as a result of that education be free? Of course not. You only want to get free stuff but not give free stuff unless someone else pays for it. Which is kind of sort of a part of the point that I made earlier, which is since it's a community asset, are they allowed to leave the community once they're given the asset? Wow, just stumbled across you in my feed and had to listen. Love what you said and represent. New subscriber here. Blessing and gratitude. You know, they're doing that stimulus thing right now, and I'm looking all on Facebook and stuff, and people are really just eating this free stuff up. Here's the problem. When you combine people who just want an easy path and combine people who think we should legislate empathy, they outnumber all of us who think and feel like you should be put to task and do things for yourself in your own life. They outnumber us greatly. So that's why all these freaking politicians keep saying, yes, we'll take other people's crap and give it to you. And it's really bugging me. Really bugging me. Oh, shit. Saw this in my recommendations. Thinking this guy was going to be very right-leaning and arguing against the $50. I was very pleasant surprised. I salute you, sir, and your awesome buttery voice. Listen, I'm not gonna read anymore. I'm gonna sign off here. Here's what I'll do. Let's see where y'all are with this. If y'all really believe in this or not. Let's say the teachers, let's say the schools, the people who make the textbooks, the people who provide the lights, water, utilities to the schools, gas, apartments. How about this? How about we do the real socialist thing? The real socialist thing. And we tell those people, all those people, hey, look, all this stuff you're charging, we're instantly cutting it in half if you want this government funded funds. And let's see what happens to it. I guarantee you those teachers are going to quit. They're going to get less quality teachers. The utility people, they might still give it to them, but trust me, your bills are going to go up and you're going to be taxed higher. and so on and so forth. You can't really believe you're going to give in this area and in healthcare and all these areas y'all just want to give and think that nothing drastic is going to happen. I forget what country that I think is Denmark, where they do this stuff. And dude, they're if I'm correct, who I'm talking about, but whoever I did look up, their payroll taxes, like when you get your check, is 52%. Their sales tax, 25%. If you buy a car, 85% tax. People, I really want to know why y'all are voluntarily want to live like that. Dude, think about it. When I combine payroll and sales tax, because you're always buying something, right? I look at it, and I could be wrong, I look at it as you buying something just as much as you are making your money, if not more. Which is why we have a lot of debt. Let's think about this. That's why I combine this. So let's think about this. Off rip, you have a 77% gimme on your dollar. To simplify, let's say everybody got paid $1 a year, right? The government is taking 77 cents off top. Off top. Now what? You got 23 cents, dude. You have 23% of your income. Bruh, why do y'all want to live like this? I don't want to live 23 cents to the dollar, dude. I don't want it. What is wrong with y'all? What exactly I don't want to go to work to have other people just take my shit, dude. I don't want that. To the tune of 77%, I don't want that. This is just the differences that people have here. And it's mind-blowing that you can really, that people can differ this much. Yes, I'm more than okay with having a far majority of my check just gone. And then have the other side is just that wants absolute freedom of movement. I don't understand this. I can't wrap my head around it. I can't. Let's eliminate the sales tax. 52%? To get what out of it? I just took a long, hard look at my check stub today, and I pay 5 different taxes, dude. 5. Let me read them off. Where the hell is that paper? No. Damn it, I can't find it. Here it is. You got Detroit City, Michigan State, Medicare, FICA, and FIC. What the hell? Dude. Oh, why? You got one that's on a bi-weekly. On a bi-weekly, you got one that's almost $400. So you taking almost $200 out my check every week for what, nigga? For what? Why? What do I get out of this $200 you're taking from me? And then I really don't understand Detroit. You're charging me $30 a week for what? For what? Dude, I really don't understand why y'all want more of this. I can't put my head around why y'all want more of this, dude. Why do y'all want this? Are people not doctors now? So what you're going to lose? You're still going to have doctors if you don't forgive students. You're an idiot. You're still going to have doctors. You're still going to have engineers. You're just forgiving student loan debt to be nice. You want to go through this raping of tax system to be nice. People are fucking idiots, dude.